Hello and welcome to my knitting podcast. My name is Irma and you can find me on YouTube, Instagram and Ravelry as Wolwerkjes. Also there is a Ravelry group I made for this podcast. It's still in building, but future knit-alongs and giveaways will be hosted through there, I think. So let's get started. I always start with what I'm wearing, and returning viewers will notice that I'm wearing a finished object. And I will stand up so you can see, hopefully. This is my boxy. I don't think I can go far enough backwards to show it all. Maybe I can pop in a picture here. It's boxy by Joji Locatelli and I finished it. Yay! It's gorgeous. It's way too hot to wear now. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm getting sweaty already, so I will take it off now. I am so happy I finished it. I knit it out of my own hand-dyed yarn. Which is available on wolwerkjes.com in the merino silk rami base, and the colorway is Sweet Kisses, and it's so drapey. I blocked the body because the hem has does want to roll up a little, and to prevent that, I steamed it with my steaming iron. And I know you're not supposed to do that with a hem, but this isn't a hem that has any use. It's only for decoration and preventing your stockinette to roll up on itself. So I think it was safe to do it, and it helped quite a lot. And I'm not sure what I would do if I knit this pattern again. What would prevent the rolling up? I know that some people are knitting the ribbing on a size smaller needle and knitting a little bit more of the ribbing, but I quite like the small hem, and so I don't want to knit more rows, and I'm afraid that knitting on a smaller needle will make the underside of the garment go in a little, and it's supposed to be boxy, like squared on the underside, so I'm not sure what I want to do there, but yeah, that's boxy. I haven't blocked the sleeves yet, and I think I don't know if you can see, but in real time you can see the difference between the body and the sleeves in the fabric, but once I've steamed them, that is over. And yes, I'm really happy with this. Excuses for the more regular cutting in this episode. It's really hot still. I'm recording in the evening. Let me see, it feels 27.5 degrees Celsius in the house, and it's 7:30. That's not normal for Holland. Normally we have summers between the 20 and 25 degrees. I say normal, that's how I remember it as a child and teenager. 20-25 degrees, and when you have a day above the 25 we would say, whoa, it's really hot. And the last 3 days we broke the heat record of our country, and the temperature got up above 40 degrees Celsius, and we're not used to it. Our houses are not built to get out the heat, and it's terrible. It's nice to have sun, but I also, with 2 little children, I'm not going outside when it's that hot. Especially our garden is south facing, because we are so happy with every bit of sunshine we get here normally that a south-facing garden is really the way to go. A lot of houses are built with the garden south-facing, with windows south-facing, and it's getting hot. So when you see regular cuts, that's because I start sweating and my face will be all shiny. So just for your information. Also, maybe you notice my voice is a little bit less loud than normal. The windows are open and I don't want neighbors having any problem with me recording. So that's why I talk a little bit with less volume. And my children are upstairs with my husband trying to get to sleep, so that's also a reason why I don't want to make too much noise now. But I think it's okay. So, finished object, really proud of it. I have another finished object, which I can't show. And again, people who've seen this podcast before will know what I mean. I've done a test knit. I can't say for whom or which, and I can't say what I have knitted. I'm happy to say I finished it, so that means there will be more knitting time for other projects, which I can show you, unless there's coming a new secret test knit, but I don't think there will be for a few months, so that's nice. Not all test knits are secret, so maybe I will do a test knit, but then not a secret one because I want to share it. But I'm really happy that I finished it in time. The deadline is, I post this episode on Sunday, so the deadline is today. I recorded this earlier, so I finished it before the deadline. And I'm excited to see the reactions of people once the pattern is released. So that's a fun thing, and it's nice to have a little bit more space to knit the things I really want. Another thing is that I knitted it for my mother instead of for myself, so it was different knitting because it was a test knit, and it was different knitting because it wasn't for myself. So that's really nice to have it off the needles. And I will show you other things I've worked on. Let me see. I finished this bracelet. I was beading it last episode, and I finished it. I'm really happy with the result. It is really comfortable to wear it, and it was really fun to do, so I'm quite sure I will make more of these. Another thing I finished, I'm on a finishing kick. It was almost finished last time. Is this little lovely skein of silk I spinned and dyed myself. The dyeing was done pre-spinning, and then I spun it, and because of the nature the roving was, the inside was undyed and the dye was on the outside, so when you spin it you get this marling effect. And I made a Navajo 3-ply, or a chain ply if you prefer to call it, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. And now I'm touching it again. Silk is such a special material. It's a little bit underplied. I could take it one more time through the spinning wheel, but underplied yarn gives a little bit more drape. Silk and drape, I think it will be really nice to just leave it like this. I have no idea what I'm gonna make out of it. I don't have that much yardage. It was under 50 grams because I used it in a blend with some merino ones. So, and I think I bought 50 grams, so it's less than 50 grams, but it's the touch is so special, and I can't wait to knit something with it, and it's gorgeous to look at. So yes, I was really pleased with that. And I finished another ply, but I haven't taken it off the spindle yet. You've seen this before, only then it was unplied, it was a single, and now it's plied in a 2-ply. And I did, I don't know the name again, but the 2-plying method, when you wind the yarn on your hands and then you in a special way, and then you take both ends and you can spin a 2-ply, because I didn't want to make it a Navajo 3-ply. I wanted to keep it a little bit lighter weight, so that's what I tried. There was too much yarn on this bobbin to do it on your hands. I know there are devices or pieces of wood you can buy to make it easier, because you can wind it on the piece of wood instead of on your hand, and it's really important that you don't wind it on too tight, because when you do, your hand starts turning blue and you don't want that. And so that was really yeah, it was quite an experience. My yarn broke a few times. I had to store the pieces of yarn because it was too much to ply in once, and that's also a thing when you bind it on your hand. Some people call it bracelet plying, because when you have wounded it on, you put it off your fingers over your arm and you have like a bracelet, but it was too much to do in once, so I had to find something to put in the bracelet to keep it from tangling up on itself. But I finally managed. I think there are 2 pieces of ply on here, so there will be 2 skeins coming off instead of 1, but that's how it is. It's hand spun, and I know that you don't always get the meterage you have, with a spindle you don't always get the meterage you have on a normal bolt skein, so that's fine. I will have to join in an extra piece of yarn. That's all fine. That I plied this also meant that I made finally the decision to not ply it with this dark blue, and the main reason is because I really love this color of the dark blue so much that I didn't want to ply it with anything else. And I'm going to do the same with this one, only I'm thinking of weighing my fiber. I know I had around 50 grams, so keeping 25 aside and put it on another spindle, so I can ply them together, or make a cake and be really careful not to tangle it up, because I did once ply it from a 2-ply from a cake and it was a big mess. But maybe I'm a little bit more experienced now to avoid that, so we will see. But it will be definitely a 2-ply as well as is this one, and then I will make something pretty out of both of them and maybe join in a neutral color, but I'm not sure yet. So I think those were all the finished things I have. I think it's enough finished things to show. One thing I wanted to work on, which I didn't yet, is the collar shawl. I needed the tips of my interchangeable needle set for my test knit, so I'm very happy that I could put them back. And I was in the middle of a cable section when I put it away, I saw, so it will be quite a thing to figure out where I was. I think I kept track, but I'm not quite sure, so I hope I did that so I can find my beginning easily. and then I can start knitting on it, which will be really excited, but a little bit too warm now because I'm knitting it from a pure wool, but also a really thick, really warm yarn. It's quite roughly spun, and it's from sheep breed from Holland, the Tesselaar, which has really rough fiber as well. So I don't think this is the weather to work on it, but I'm really excited to get started on that. Hopefully when it's cooling down a little bit next week, or maybe just to normal summer temperatures for here. Let me see. I knitted on the lace shawl I'm working on. It's the Frost. I've butchered up the name every episode until now. I think it was the Frosty apple shawl or something. You will see it appear on the screen. I made quite some progress. I don't know if it's visible for you, but I made quite some progress. I'm almost to the end of the first lace bit. I think I have to finish this row with this section with the bead, and then only one section with a bead follows, and then I'm on the border chart. I can't show the piece in full. Again, I'm knitting this on quite small circumference needles for the width of the shawl, but that's intentional because it makes the stitches slip more easy over the needle, and it will be a surprise how big it is when I finished it. I was a little bit afraid in the beginning if I would have enough yarn. I think I'm maybe halfway through the skein, maybe a little bit less, so I'm quite sure I will be able to finish it. I know my rows get longer after every round, but as I see how much yarn one row takes up now, I think I'm safe. I don't have to change anything about the lace pattern to be able to finish with this yarn. I don't have a second skein, it's all I've got, so it's quite important for me to finish it in this color, and I think I will be able to do so. It's really easy lace pattern. It's easy to find where I was. It's easy to do while watching TV, so this will be finished quite soon, I think. So let me see. I picked up another work in progress, and I was really happy to do so for several reasons, and I will show you. I started on my Cozy Memories blanket again, and one of the things that made me happy is just start working on it again, but I did something else. I got this notebook from my cousin for my birthday 2 months ago, and she knows I like notebooks and stuff, so it was really nice. It's meant to be a bullet journal, but I was already trying my the Midori system as a planner and stuff, which isn't working at the moment, but I will get back to that maybe another time. But I saw this and I was like, oh, but it's really pretty and the pages are quite thick, so making drawings in here will be okay. The ink isn't gonna leak through, so I thought maybe I can use it like a knitting diary kind of thing, and I will show you a few things out of it. I saw this quote somewhere and I was that's maybe started the knitting notebook idea. I saw this quote and I couldn't stop laughing. So that's the beginning. And I know in a bullet journal you have quite a large index to find everything back, but I'm not good in going back and adding things to my index. So what I did, I have to take this out. What I did, I with washi tape, which she also gave with it, and this pattern is the same as the outside cover, which is really fun. But I took some things I wanted to put in here, and also some things here, so I have space to fill up still if I think of anything else I want to put in. And I put washi tape in different styles, and I made labels on the pages that correspond with this information. So I think it's working quite well. Not all my projects are in here, but quite a few. I can't show everything because also my test knit is in here, so I can't show you that, but those are 2 pages I made. It's my boxy and the apple blossom shawl is the name. Frosted. I thought it was, I really think it was something with frosted apple. Doesn't mind. In here it's the apple blossom shawl. Doesn't matter. But I made some drawings of the garments, which are not really like truly a copy, but they're just inspired by the patterns. I included a bit of the yarn, which I will do here if I have left over, because if I don't have left over I won't do it. My color is in here, and I started this because I'm very bad in remembering stuff. I think I'm good at it, and in some cases I am quite good at it, but when it comes to needle sizes or changes I made in a pattern and I want to do it again but I don't remember what the changes are, then I'm not that good in remembering. So even if it's only the needle size and the yarn I used that I write down, that still helps me. But then I came across the Cozy Memories, and I was like, ooh, I want to dedicate a piece of this book to the Cosiest Memories blanket. I use English and Dutch at the same time in this book, and I'm sure I make typos in English and Dutch as well, so please don't look at that too much. But what I did is I finally decided, because I started the blanket but I didn't know how wide I wanted it to be, so when I had this idea, I had the idea of making every square I knit also a square in the blanket and put a number in it, and then that number corresponds with a list, and I write down there which yarn it was and for which project I used it, because all my squares are left over from projects I knit or gifts from other people. So I think it would be fun to keep track of that. And I wanted to know if I had enough room on one page, so I decided I will go 24 squares wide and 30 squares high. And this will be a really big blanket, and I don't have enough scraps yet to finish that, but it's also something that's going really slow, so that will just grow in time. And it's really fun to color the little squares a little bit like the squares I knitted up, so that's really fun to do. And not everybody will like keeping track of this, but I think it's really fun to do. And yeah, that's why taking on the memories blanket again was also fun for me, because I could fill pages. Excuse me, my cat threw over something. It's also fun for me to track it in this notebook. So double fun, the knitting and the writing down. So that's really fun. So back to the blanket. I was left here and I added 2 squares, and I am on my 3rd new square, and it's so fun to do. It really is. And every time you finish a square, it feels like you finished a project, so that's really fun. I weighed out leftovers in balls of 5 grams when there are fingering weight, and when they are different weight I did a little bit more to be sure. But this is a fingering weight and I was short on yarn. So I hope this was the exception. I think it is, because all the others came out of 5 grams of yarn. So I think this was the exception. But it's good to know for future not to take it too short. A little bit. I think it's better to have a little bit more than having less. But I had the skein that it came from still lying around, so I could just join in. One thing, and I don't know if you can see it, but I started knitting quite more even than I did when I started this blanket, which isn't that strange because I knit quite a lot more than I did in the beginning. So it's just normal that your tension will even out more. But I hope you can't see it, and I hope other people can't see it that well as I do. And I hope that it's going to be really big, and it's only the first row that are a few squares, maybe not as neat as I can do them. And I really didn't want to start over again, because I have already started over once, because I didn't like the decrease I used in the center. So that's that. And you can see that every yarn knits up differently. One is a little bit tighter, the other one is a little bit bigger maybe, but you can block it out. So this one can stretch quite a lot, so I can match it with this one. And when you add other rows, it will even out a lot, and I think I will just have to add a border. I know not everybody adds a border, but I think I will just have to, because I'm using so many different types of yarns. So to even out the edge, I need to add a border. But I really like it, and I have all these little scraps and balls of yarn in here, and it's really fun to just go in blind and take the one out that feels right at that moment. So that's really fun to do. Now I have finished so much projects and I haven't started a new one yet, which is really good of me, I think. I have started a new beading project. I'm not going to show it now, and I will just talk about that another time, but it's not that interesting to show you now. But I started that, so that's something new, but really small. But I haven't started anything else yet. I really wanted to start spinning the Gotland fiber I talked about last time, but it was too hot. I can't make anything else out of it. It's too hot. And the fiber will stick to my hands, and oh no, it will be a mess. So that has to wait a little longer. And there's another thing I really want to start, and I will get it for you. I really want to start on my Vertices Unite shop by Stephen West, where I bought the skeins at Vrijdagen, Dutch Knitting Festival in May, end of May, and they have been lying on my coffee table since then, being pretty. And yeah, it's really time to start working on them. I think I will purchase the I haven't purchased the pattern yet. I always only buy a pattern when I start working on the project, because otherwise it will be just money spent without doing anything with it, just for having the pattern, but the pattern is not going anywhere. You can buy it any day through Ravelry. So I waited, and I think somewhere this week I will take a moment for myself and purchase the pattern and first draw out the rectangles and pieces of the pattern and decide which color I'm going to use where, and that will be a lot of fun. I can use my pretty notebook, so that's always fun. Yeah, and then I will cake them up and I will start knitting on it, and I almost can't wait. I just want to do it right now, but I'm not going to do it right now. I really want to make a nice moment out of that, so I'm looking forward to it. And I don't think I have any. There is a cropped cardigan pattern that's appealing to me. I will look up the name and put it on the screen. But I think I'm not going to search too hard for that yarn. I think that will just present itself to me one day. I don't have any big plans for knitting events right now, but maybe the next knitting event it will be fun to pick up yarn for that. I saw a really pretty color of Holst, super soft, and maybe I will order that one day, but only when I'm thinking I don't know what to knit, and it's not that point yet. I have enough things to work on right now, and I also have to find patterns for my handspun. So, oh no, I want to spin the Gotland yarn for that. I almost forgot. So no yarn purchases for the cardigan. I will spin up my yarn for the cardigan, so I only can start knitting it once I have spun the yarn. So that will be a good way to keep me from starting it. Yeah, so, and I don't think I have any other pattern really looking at me at the moment. I'm really happy with all the projects I have now. That's just it, I think. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in 2 weeks. I hope with better temperatures than it is today. Bye!